This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/ondeck.
Welcome to On Deck. I'm Matt Harris. I got the Red Sox shoes on. I've got the Bruins jersey on.
You're a walking product placement.
Pretty much, yeah. Unfortunately, they don't pay me for any of this,
right.
But it's the pure dedication of the fan. Red Sox aren't playing so well. Bruins aren't playing so well, so I thought, get all kitted out. Maybe they'll turn it around.
Some support. I know they'll turn it around, buddy.
Thanks,
I have
buddy.
faith.
Thank you so much. Well, this is Andrew Moore-Christopher, my good friend, my colleague, the web editor of butterscotch.com, and the host of a number of shows here on butterscotch.com. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
You seem to have a few gadgets here on the table that we're going to talk about, but one seems to be missing.
Yes.
It is the Blackberry Playbook that came out this week, I guess, in North America.
Yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday, yeah.
So, of course, ever on the pulse, butterscotch.com is, you're going to shoot a Gadget TV on said Playbook. But where is this Playbook?
Said Playbook is in said cargo pocket.
Very nice.
So here it is. So one of the big things is now the bezel of the Playbook. There's no buttons on the front here.
Gotcha.
It all happens kind of up on the bezel here. So you can multitask like this. If you swipe down from one of these bezels or swipe up from one of these bezels, the action changes. You can scroll through like this. Pretty cool, man. Really peppy, really fast.
That's a 7-inch screen, right?
Yeah, 7-inch screen. Bit of a dearth of apps right now. There's not really a great deal in the app world for it. No email, which is a bit of a
that is
bummer.
odd.
Yeah, unless you have a BlackBerry.
Okay, so you tether it, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's like a Bluetooth. It's basically a very simplified sort of, for users anyway, Bluetooth.
Okay.
So the basic idea is when in range, your devices just say like, hey, it's called Bridge. They just say, hey, here I am. Okay, here's your email kind of thing. Now, I mean, for a standard kind of consumer user,
right,
kind of a bummer, right?
Right.
The reason they did that is a bit of an homage to kind of their business background, right? So basically, enterprise level, if you have a BlackBerry, you might have some pretty sensitive stuff on there. And if your Playbook goes missing, all the data would go missing. Basically, unless you have your phone, you can't get the email. Corporate users might like that. I personally don't. But.
Well, you were saying before we rolled that if this thing came out, 2 years ago,
yeah,
and this was your first tablet experience,
it'll blow your mind.
You'd be like, wow, this is fantastic. Just to compare to the size here, this is the original iPad. So it's obviously much smaller with the 7-inch screen versus the, what is this, 9.7 inch?
Something like that, yeah.
And also this is, like I said, the iPad. We have the iPad 2 coming to butterscotch.com, so we'll be doing, I'm guessing, a How Do I and a few Gadget TVs, I'm guessing, on that as well.
For sure.
Now, this was your, it's funny how Andrew works, because he gets very excited about some toys and then they get discarded. Because, this was like 3 weeks ago's toy, the NOOK Color. But you kind of geeked it up a bit, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yes.
Tell us about that.
Will this be the NOOK Color running Honeycomb? So you can see it's not completely optimized for it. You can see some of our widgets here are kind of falling off the side of the screen. Right. Basically, this thing was never designed to run Honeycomb, obviously. Right. It's actually quite amazing. An XDA developer called Deeper Blue basically shoehorned. The thing I really like about this is in behind here, there's a micro SD card. It's all running from a micro SD card. If I take this micro SD card out, I'm basically back to a regular NOOK Color.
Cool.
I actually really like this thing. I mean, it's not the fastest experience in the world. It might be orientation locked right now.
But the thing was, too, you also did a How Do I series on this, right?
Yep.
For butterscotch.com. That'll be coming out in the next couple weeks.
Yep.
And it's not so much a device storage. It's actually how you put Honeycomb on this device.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is remarkably easy to do. Some great tips on there. I actually used addictivetips.com, a lot of their tips to actually get the thing happening. Putting Honeycomb on there is like literally a 10-minute process. We cover that. It's fairly easy to do. The difficult thing is actually getting the market on there. So that's, I think, what people are going to want to know. So we're covering how to get Honeycomb onto the NOOK Color on Mac, how to get Honeycomb on the NOOK Color on PC, how to get the market onto the NOOK Color on Mac and also on PC.
Now explain something to me. Is this really practical, or is this just geek cred?
Honestly, this is actually quite practical.
Yeah?
So there are ways that you can actually put Honeycomb onto the thing and overclock the CPU and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, it costs a battery power, battery life.
Yeah.
But honestly, it works quite well. It's a little sluggish, so if I were to go through some of our home screens here, you can see it's not super peppy.
Right.
But in all honesty, I mean, everything that I've wanted to do, it's been able to do. Check my email, basically get a real look at what Honeycomb is going to be.
Excellent.
I like it.
Okay, well, check that out at butterscotch.com. I'll let you go because you have to get to your Gadget TV shoot.
Yes, indeed.
For everything we've spoken about, go to butterscotch.com. Before I let you go, I just want to mention this Monday, the Lab Rats will not have a new episode. Our good friend Andy Walker and boss is in Las Vegas having a little bit of a holiday, which is much deserved. So he and Sean will return next Monday. So yeah, like I said, no new Lab Rats this week, but there's a ton of Lab Rats episodes on butterscotch.com, so check them out. For everything we spoke about, go to butterscotch.com. Andrew Moore Crispin, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me. Go Bruins.
Go Bruins indeed.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/ondeck.